Well, the Supreme Court has allowed Donald Trump to dismantle the Department of Education. They overturned an injunction from a lower court, allowing him to fire thousands of Department of Education workers. Of course, they're being sued by state governments as a result of this, some $6.8 billion in funding. And it's really Supreme Court allowing this man to do whatever he wants to do. This is what a lot of people feared with the Supreme Court weighed in on these nationwide injunctions, Niambi. This is what we're now faced with. And so we're seeing this one by one, how SCOTUS is allowing this man to do what the hell he wants to do.
I mean, we talked about this before here, Roland. I mean, when Ellie Mistel was here, when I was last here, and what they're doing is essentially punting on the substance and saying whether this is right on a procedural ground. And I think, of course, on procedural grounds, this is wrong. And it's always telling the fact that when they do these sort of emergency or shadow kind of rulings, that they don't have to sort of publicly proclaim what they voted for and what their rationale is. But I think the dissents have been speaking volumes about this, because what they're doing is essentially setting the stage so that there will be no additional sort of sharing of power to come forward. I mean, I think we always assume there will always be another election, and that next election can undo the damage that is caused here. But Donald Trump told you in 2024, when they was running, we might not have to do any elections again. And I think he sincerely means that. And it seems, at least for the time being, this Supreme Court is allowing him to amass the most power he can so that he can follow through on those kinds of promises. Now, that also means that they're potentially hastening their own demise as an institution. But I think for now, at least, it seems like the majority is very clear that they think of this as an imperial presidency, and they're giving him every opportunity and every tool to be that. And that's what his state of desire was, and they're following through on it. And it's, us, essentially, right, the people who have to live with this and the fallout of all of this.
Raven, we are constantly trying to explain to people that elections have consequences. Trump was able to appoint 3 Supreme Court justices because, frankly, a lot of people didn't like Hillary Clinton in 2016.
That's right, Roland. I mean, what we're seeing is a complete obfuscation of checks and balances. There's a MAGA majority in the Supreme Court, and they are doing its bidding. That's not how it's supposed to work, but that's how it's unfolding. Now, as it pertains to the Department of Education, they told us they were going to dismantle it. I cannot sing this from the mountaintops enough. They literally wrote it out in Project 2025. And I feel like that fell out of the news cycle, but I'm going to bring it back in because we need to continually talk about it. There's a Project 2025 tracker online right now that shows that about 46% of the things they said they were going to do in Project 2025 that Trump swore up and down that he wasn't affiliated with, they've done. And we're only 6 months into his presidency, right? So I really think that's important to underline. They told us they were going to do this. It's like villain 101 behavior in a corny superhero movie where the villain has a superhero tied up and they tell them exactly what they're going to do. We know what the playbook is. It's unfolding right in front of us. And we have a responsibility to continue to amplify the ways that Trump and his cronies are continually betraying their constituents and everything that's good and whole and democratic about this country. I mean, this isn't the first time that we've seen him just absolutely defy court orders. This isn't the first time we've seen him absolutely defy protections like due process. I mean, when Kilmar Abrego Garcia was deported without due process and the courts told him to bring him back, he threw up his hands and he was like, we're not going to do that, right? So I think it's really evident that Trump believes that he's above the law. He's absolutely abusing his positionality, and we need to continue to use our apparatuses and the power that we have to make that clear to the folks who follow us.
Omikango?
This is going to be another FAFO moment for many people throughout the United States as it relates to the Department of Education, because not only do we have the real issues relating to what's going to be happening in our K-12 institutions as it relates to lack of funding, lack of paraprofessionals that are going to be in classrooms to help, lack of occupational therapists to help students with various disabilities, school lunches and the like, but there's also the college side of it as well, and what they're doing as it relates to getting rid of things like the loan forgiveness programs. So they're getting people as it relates to how they repay their college loans, right? Including possibly garnishing people's wages if they get behind. And then also with the job cuts that are happening across the country, they're making it more difficult for people to be able to actually apply to go to college. And then they're also messing with the Pell Grants. So from kindergarten through the university level, this dismantling is going to affect every community. And we just have to be mindful of the fact that we are dealing with all three branches of government working in tandem to destroy this country for those who are not at the wealthiest levels of the society. That is what's happening, from the Congress and the Senate giving Trump everything that he wants, to the Supreme Court giving Trump everything that he wants, to Trump running roughshod across the entire country because he wants to be king. This is where we are in society. And the sooner more of us realize that, the sooner we can actually organize a stronger resistance to it before it's too late.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.